Looks like goddamn Mario Kart.
Checkered everything.
There's something on that car.
It's a hand.
Daddy's home.
What the shit? Race control.
Right. One more car and I'm taking it out of your ass.
I'm gonna take this track and make it my pitch. Did you know that races are won and lost in the pits?
I did not know that.
Did you not?
The IMS is the best there ever was.
Daddy doesn't do road courses.
Daddy only does ovals. We certainly don't take ourselves that seriously, so you shouldn't. Welcome to Fast Cars, Fast Girls with Abby and Molly.
Season 2, episode 42.
Episode 42. Let's warm up these tires.
Let's get into it.
So it is, we are recording on Guy Fawkes Day. So remember the 5th of November.
Gunpowder and treason plot.
I have literally said that in my head all day long as I wrote the date. And I said it to a couple people and nobody got it. And I was like, I don't know who I'm working with now. That nobody continued on with me on the...
I know, it's really sad.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's a whole important thing.
It is. It is. But anyhow, so we're recording on the 5th to be dropped on the 7th. But let's warm up the tires because we've got all kinds of shit to get into.
I was going to tell people to vote, but this is also this is dropped after vote day, so don't vote.
If you didn't vote, well, you should have.
Yeah, and you can't vote now because I think that's fraud.
Yep, it is.
So don't vote now.
It is. I actually meant to say something last week on our podcast because I know that we're both big
vote people.
Yeah, we love to encourage people to vote.
People.
Big vote people. We're like,
we vote multiple times. No, don't vote multiple times.
Vote early, vote often,
even if you're dead. That's the Chicago way. All right.
But yeah, anyhow, I was like, oh, we forgot to tell people to make sure that they voted, but you know.
It happens. Well, if you didn't
Hopefully
vote,
you all did.
Well, don't tell us because you'll get a lecture from one of us.
True.
Now let's warm up the tires. Let's go back
do
to
it.
that.
So we've got some news.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some things in the silly season to discuss.
It's the first episode of the month, so we'll kind of ponder about silly season things.
Yep. Yeah. We've got some implications, maybe make some wild accusations. We'll see.
Sounds about right for us.
We've got a listener question.
Yeah.
Our woman of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, shit we didn't make up.
It's a special shit we didn't make up.
It is. It's special shit.
It's special shit.
So, WDMU.
This shit is special. Ooh, I can't say that.
All right. Well, let's get into it. So, in the news, Schmidt-Peterson, the number 7 car.
It makes me cry.
I know. So, the number 7 car is going to be piloted by Marcus Ericsson.
Yeah, they are keeping the number 6.
They are. They're keeping the number 6, but they're.
I mean, obviously they need to bring on a second car, and I don't think any of us didn't expect that. It's very poignant that Marcus or Ericsson will be driving. I don't know. I said or Ericsson. Marcus Ericsson will be driving the number 7 and not the number 6. And that's a very beautiful.
It is. It's a classy move.
It is. It's very classy.
It is. That's a classy move because obviously Wickens is not driving this next season.
No.
But yeah. So I enjoy that they're keeping the 6, but they're not utilizing it this season. And
yeah. And,
so
Ericsson did F1 or the latter series F1. He's a Swede, so we'll see how this goes. So
yeah. I'm interested to see. Yeah.
I'm always in. I mean, it's another new driver. We've got a strong crop of rookies coming this year.
We do. Yeah, we had a pretty strong crop last year as well. So,
we did.
Yeah, I mean, I love our paddock.
I do too.
So I'm interested to see how Marcus Ericsson does in the silly videos that Schmidt-Peterson does. I hope he can measure up because
I hope they
the standards are pretty high.
The bar is high. Amazing last year.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I still crack up thinking about those videos.
Right? Oh my gosh. So funny. So yeah.
And then Marco is taking an enhanced role. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
An enhanced role with the let me take a breath here. Andretti Herta Autosport with Marco Andretti and Curb Ajan, or as I've decided we should call it, Ahamaka. Ahamaka. Ahamaca. Ahamaka.
Ahamaka.
Because I'm not saying Andretti Herta Autosport with Marco Andretti and Curb Ajan ever again. Like, I'm done. You will never hear me say that.
No.
It's Ahamaka.
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 Yep.
You could pronounce it kind of like Hanukkah, or you could say Ahamaka is what they call McDonald's over in Australia.
Ah.
depending on your mood. We are close to the holiday season, though.
Yeah, I like that. I like a Hanukkah.
I like a Hanukkah.
I do too.
So there you go, guys. AHAMACA. So that's interesting. It's a step towards what we think is the inevitable. Marco will at some point be taking over the reins at Andretti Autosport. Mm-hmm. Obviously, probably not for a few years, but there you go. So that's it.
Yeah.
It's an enhanced role, which I think he's just funding it more.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what else that entails for him, because I would like to see Marco be successful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of step out and make his own name for himself.
I agree.
So I'm excited for him for this.
And of course, Mary Holman George passed.
She did, yes. We don't want to forget to mention that. So, yep, at the age of 83, Mary Holman George did pass away, and so Tony George is now the chairman of the board.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting.
We'll just leave that statement.
Yeah,
there in the air.
Very interesting. So, but yep, Mary Holman George did a lot of things for the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for IndyCar, for racing in general. She'd been involved in racing for a long, long time.
And I think since her whole life.
Yeah, since birth, basically.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed on Twitter. People posting on Twitter and on Facebook, people posted all kinds of cool old photos of her.
Yeah.
And she was a fox, man.
I mean, she did look really great when back in the day.
She did. I mean, yeah, it was only, I mean, she was 83, so I mean, she still looked fantastic. But yeah. But yeah, like when she was younger, I'm like, wow, I didn't realize how hot Mary Holman George was.
Yeah. So she also was very philanthropic. I think we also have to mention that.
She was extremely philanthropic.
We've mentioned it every time we talk about her, but like really big, and especially like animal charities and things like that. And of course,
she started a Greyhound rescue group here, and yeah. I mean, back before that was even a cool thing to do, like in the early 90s.
In fact, my cousin that we stayed with at St. Petersburg, she actually would house
Greyhounds,
retired racing Greyhounds.
That does not surprise me at all.
Yeah, the house was quite.
That fits her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that happened. Oh, and just dropped like today, IndyCar is bringing their like TV production in house.
Yeah.
Not a lot has been put out about it, but it's supposed to help them with their international TV rights. So that's interesting.
So they're going to own the rights rather than
sell them to people, I guess.
Yeah, or rather than having a weird middleman or
Which I'm wondering if that, I know with CJ leaving, there probably is going to be some adjustments, so maybe that was part of it.
Yeah.
That's
a little
interesting.
Restructuring.
A shuffle amongst staff. So
yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, it's always good for the series when they're going to be focusing on the future.
It is. And I think it's a good move always to, have things in-house so that you have more, control over them and more consistency and continuity across all the different areas. So
yeah, no, it's always a good sign.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah.
So interesting. All right, well, let's get into the silly season.
All right, let's just do the quick run through of everything since October 1st. So Steinbrenner and Harding teamed up, so they've got Award and Herta. Ed Carpenter Racing, Piggott is in, King is out, Ed is obviously still in there, and Ed number 2, Ed Jones with Scuderia Corsa, is now the road course buddy, and Fuzzy's Vodka is out. So a lot of changes. Bourdais still with DCR, Sato's with RLL. They've always hinted about the third car, but nothing's been out there. McLaren is not doing IndyCar for a full time in 2019, and MSR purchased a second chassis. They talked about running it for the Indy 500, and of course Juncos has talked about expanding to 2 cars. So that's everything we know.
That's it. Now there's been talk about Catherine Legg with Michael Shank Racing because she has done sports car things with them.
I mean, it would make
complete sense.
Pretty complete sense for them as far as contract is wise. She's a great driver. They really liked expanding her role, so she should just do it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying.
I think so.
I
think so.
I'm just saying. So.
I would love to see Juncos with a second car.
They've got it.
Or, I mean, for them to, run.
So they're trying to figure out who. So those 2 seats are still open.
They are.
The Dale Coyne car, although there's been, everybody said it's, what's his face? The kid that I think is going to just be not a great child.
Ferrucci?
Yes.
Santino Ferrucci?
Santino Ferrucci. It's not been officially announced, though.
Yeah.
Like, everybody says it, but there's not been an official announcement.
There's not been an official announcement.
So, I don't say anything until there's been that official.
Yeah.
So, that seat is technically still open.
It is.
This, like, tangential RLL third car is still open.
Yeah. Which we haven't heard anything new on that.
I don't know if it's a real thing or not.
Yeah, and I just wonder who would be it's an interesting mix of people. So you've got Takuma Sato
Yes.
and Graham Rahal, and I just don't know who you get to come in as the third.
I mean, some people that we know who don't have rides, Claim DeMello, Pietro Fittipaldi, because we still don't know that Dale Coyne. I mean, Connor,
Sage Karam.
Sage Karam, although Dreyer Reinbold kept talking about putting a program together and he'd be it.
Yeah.
So I think he's kind of waiting to see if Dreyer Reinbold...
Or JR.
I mean...
J.R. Hildebrand.
Wow, if Hildebrand jumps in, that'll be the weirdest trio.
Right. And I feel like I read a rumor about Munoz.
I mean, Carlos is out there doing Munoz things.
He is. You know what? It was before Ericsson was announced. That's what it was. I heard a rumor that Munoz was going to be.
Because there's also some rumors that Daly might be in that car too.
Yeah.
That did not happen.
Did not happen, unfortunately.
No. And by the way, we still don't fully know what Gabby Chavez's role is.
No, and there's been no talk about that.
No,
so.
it's surprisingly quiet.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if he's just going to be a 500 only, which kind of sucks.
That does suck for Gabby. Although it gives him more time with the drones.
That's true. And he can drive the two-seaters still. Mm-hmm. Because he did a really hilarious Instagram video. I'm so sorry that expired before you watched it, but it was just a cold day, and he was just like, it's like 40 degrees and windy. Perfect day to be driving the two-seater. And I was like, yes, I'm here for Gabby Chavez shade.
Right. Here for your sass.
He was just so sassafras. So I was just, yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so we've got some spots to fill. I read somewhere that somebody indicated that Charlie Kimball still didn't have a ride, but I swear his contract with Carlin was multiple years.
I feel like it was too.
Right? I was like, I don't know. It was an unreliable source, so I'm not going to start that rumor. I really feel like he's with Carlin.
I feel like he is too.
Yeah. We would have heard something by now if he was not with Carlin.
I think we definitely would have heard something by now. I mean, plus he's got sponsorship money, so...
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, he's going to end up with a ride because he's got sponsorship money.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He brings the monies.
Yeah, so nobody's getting rid of him. So, interesting. Well, what are your thoughts on the implications of all of this?
So, I mean, it's the 1st of November. The 5th, technically. It's remember the
5th of November.
5th of November. But testing goes until about Thanksgiving, and then there's that weird blackout. And then the first official test is February. Mm-hmm. We were hearing things up until, I remember last year it was at least December. Maybe December we had an announcement, I remember. Mm-hmm. I think we even had one in January, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'm tired of these teams waiting.
Wait until right? Like, come on, man. Like, pull the trigger. Shitter it off the pot,
Shitter it off the pot. I think Yukos is going to be interesting because it sounds like they don't have, from the articles, they don't have anybody full-time locked in. It's going to be like the rotating seat. Kind of what Harding was like that final back half of the season, just like multiple people in the car because somebody had the budget for like 3 races, but not all. And so that'll be interesting.
That is interesting.
I think we'll see a lot of our one-offs in that Yukos seat.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they might as well kind of cycle some people through, get the most out of different sponsorship monies, kind of get a feel for different people, see who might be a good fit for the team, who might be a good fit for a longer season next year. Mm-hmm, I mean, why not?
Why not? I mean, and I think Ricardo Yukos is a very savvy team owner, so I think he will handle that situation very well.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I just love his whole story anyway, so I think that's going to be the team to watch just because it's going to be that rotating driver type of deal.
Yeah, which I enjoy that, mixing things up.
It makes it kind of fun.
Right, a little bit of a wild card, and it makes it really fun for our first out bets.
It does. I mean, I'm sure as a driver it kind of sucks to know, like, well, I only have a car for, like, 3 races, and they're, like, spread out and not 3 in a row, so...
That would be hard.
That would be hard. I'm sure it's hard.
Yeah. but interesting.
Yeah. What about you? Any thoughts on that? Or any thoughts on the other thoughts?
Yeah. So, there's still a decent number of spots to be filled. And we just haven't heard too much. So.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of like, this is going to happen, but then it has like this Ferrucci thing. We've known about Ferrucci, I feel like, since September.
Yeah. And so I don't know if people are still, I mean, I'm sure people are probably just still nailing down, sponsorship contracts and things of that nature. So yeah, very interesting. But there's a lot of potential for a lot of one-offs in the Indy 500 this year.
Yes.
Like a shit ton of people to be one-offs.
Yeah. So we've got 24 currently named drivers doing kind of what I assume to be a full-time season.
Yes.
So we're just, the math, there's a little bit of I hate to use the word assumptions, but we'll go ahead and just say it because we're talking in math. So you can make some sort of assumptions in math. So there's 24 named drivers. We know Elio's going to do it. Mm-hmm. The 2 Juncos drivers, the Dale Coyne spot, the second MSR chassis, that's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, that's 29.
Plus
Andretti
SPM usually does a third.
SPM does a third, 30. Andretti comes usually with 2. Mm-hmm. That's 32. You got to know Sage Karam's going to do something with Dry Reinbold Racing.
And possibly JR again.
We're already over 33.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we're going to bumping again.
I think we are.
And I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. Hopefully it doesn't end in tears this year for us.
Oh, God.
Somebody will cry.
I mean, my niece still talks about that moment every now and then. She was like, and then I turned and you guys just were both inconsolable. And I was like, you don't understand.
You don't understand how much we love Hinch.
It was Hinch.
Like anybody but Hinch.
I mean, it did make for very good drama, though.
It sure did.
You couldn't have written a better script.
You couldn't have paid for that kind of advertising. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Honda and Arrow got so much free advertising because Hinch didn't make it in, actually.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I know everybody gives shit about, like, Bump Day is horrible for sponsors, but at the end of the day, you want to be like, but how is that ROI, though? Like, but how was it? Because
actually...
He was everywhere then.
Yeah, in this case, I think it actually worked out better for those sponsors. But... for a one-off person who gets bumped and doesn't make it in,
that's probably
it definitely screws their sponsors. Yeah. But yeah, for Hinch's, season-long sponsors, like, yeah. Mm-hmm. So. Arrow and Honda and Hinch were talked about ad nauseum.
You're right, like nonstop.
Ad nauseum.
Up until the day of the race. And I think they were probably talked about at the race. Had he shown up, they would have gotten more press.
Oh, absolutely.
But I also do love that he was just like, nah, I'm gonna stay home.
I'm gonna Netflix and chill at home.
Right? He was like, I might hit the pool. I'm gonna watch some Netflix.
Ain't mad at you.
Man, barbecue outside and drink a beer, Hinch.
Right? Live your life.
It's probably a Labatt Blue.
God, I hope not.
God, no.
It's a horrible beer.
Ugh. Ugh.
So, but yeah, very interesting. But yeah, I enjoy having lots of wild cards in the 500.
It makes for a fun 500.
It does. It makes for a fun month, too.
Oh, we forgot Alonso's probably going to fucking do it.
Oh, yes. You mentioned Andretti, and then it hit my mind, and then it left. But yeah.
Like, I know that McLaren's not doing a full season, but...
hashtag Fred Watch.
But he's going to come for the 500.
Oh, yeah.
So, just go ahead and lock that car in. I don't know with whom. Maybe McLaren just does a whole dick by themselves.
It's possible.
It's possible. We'll see.
Yeah.
They said we're not going to do a full season. We were like... okay, but what about the 500?
They're choosing their words carefully. Mm-hmm. Oh, we didn't say we weren't going to run anything.
I mean, we didn't say that. We just said full season. We didn't say the 500. And maybe one of the, like, Phoenix beforehand.
Or, well, we don't have Phoenix this year.
Oh, God, that's right.
So, no, the Indy 500 is the first oval of the season. That's fucking brutal.
Oh, God. That is fucking brutal. I mean,
I'm kind of into it, but...
Damn.
So, well, I'm excited to see what the rest of the silly season has in store for us.
I think it's going to continue to be amazing.
Yeah. What would, let's see. All right, you want to do like a hot take on,
okay.
What driver you would least like to see in a full-time ride?
Sage? I mean, my issue with the Ferrucci kid.
Oh, we didn't even talk about for the 500, obviously, Stefan.
Well, that's kind of in those two
and then Andretti,
spots.
And then Pipple probably.
Because Pipple will get one, Connor, because Dale Coyne usually throws a couple in there.
Yep.
So I feel like we're gonna have bumping. We're
I think so.
It's happening, and not like 2 people get bumped.
Like
We might have
handful.
handfuls, and I'm just gonna be like, it's gonna be like Caligula. I'm gonna sit in the stand.
Yep.
And just, I won't. I say that I'm gonna be mean and ruthless, but I'll just cry when every time a driver gets knocked out.
Well, not every time, but more often than not.
Sure, I'm sure there are a handful of drivers that'll be like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'll be like, nah, whatever.
Just thumbs down.
Yeah.
Throw them to the lions.
I wonder if Buddy's going to come back this year.
I don't feel
Doubt
like Buddy's coming back. Oh.
I don't feel like Buddy's coming back as long as there's more than 33 people.
I know. I like how, like, last year, like, yeah, nobody's heard from Buddy. Nobody's heard from Buddy. And then eventually we all went like this. I don't believe that Buddy's coming back.
Yeah, Buddy was like, no, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He's like, what I won't do is come out to do my once-a-year race and get bumped.
Yeah, he's like, no, thank you. I'm going to just stay home.
Right? Like, not worth the risk, the money.
No.
It's fine.
Aw.
It's fine, but
Yeah, I think Buddy's done.
I think so.
We made a lot of fun of him quitting, and then he did.
I know.
I kind of feel bad.
I mean, I don't feel bad. What I feel bad about is that we don't get to use him for material anymore. It was really
He was pretty
easy pickings.
It was right there. You could say a lot right there.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
So, but yeah, other than Sage, anybody that you would be like, or that you're just very meh about?
I mean, my problem with Ferrucci is some of the sponsors he had.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, some of that is maybe he was up against the wall. I don't know the full. And then B, he did have a couple of incidents that
He sure did.
was, I think, youthful arrogance.
Sure.
Some of that was because he just didn't show up to a few things. Like, when do you do that?
Right.
Right? Like, I don't get to not show up to meetings called by, like, I don't know, it's similar to the bar because it was the race stewards.
Yeah, no, that'd be like the board of nursing
Yeah.
wants to see me, and I'm like, no thanks.
No
like,
thanks.
I just don't show.
And then it was like, oh, I didn't know I got the announcement. I didn't get the email. No, you got you need to show up.
No.
So I think that's my concern with him is I don't need that in our paddock.
No.
Because what you won't do is act a fool.
In our paddock.
Yeah, because I will pay to watch the other drivers school you.
Mm-hmm.
Because it'll be amazing.
I would pay good money.
So I'm sure, like, we love us some Tony, but I bet Tony'd be the one to be like, look here, son.
Right.
Look here.
All right, sport.
Scooter.
Tiger.
So I think those two are it.
I would agree with that.
You know, I'd really like to see Gabby have a few races because I kind of feels like he got done dirty.
He did get done dirty. And he's a very nice guy. And like we've said, I mean, he's a solid finisher. But yeah, he's great to talk to and chat with. And yeah.
Come on, Cannonball.
Cannonball Chavez.
Cannonball Chavez.
So.
I mean, obviously, we'd like to see Connor in a ride.
Yeah.
It's just a long list of people.
There is. I'm very excited for Colton Herta and
this is going to be a fun team to watch. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a very exciting year for that team in general.
I appreciate that they're already doing like fun things on the internet as well.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I'm here for that.
I'm here for pretty much everything that Harding Racing does.
Yeah, wait, excuse me, is Harding Steinbrenner racing?
Harding Steinbrenner.
My father was very excited that the Yankees were in IndyCar.
Yes.
Dad, the Yankees are in IndyCar. I know. So you were on Twitter for a day. Okay. This was the day you were on Twitter. God.
Oh, too funny.
So, yeah, what about anything else you think I missed? Any
I don't think so. No.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of what shakes up per usual.
I think our issues, we just want everybody to have a ride. Like,
we do.
For most,
more cars, more speed.
Although that's a big problem. Like at some point,
you can't. I mean, you have to have a cutoff because you can't have too many cars on the track.
Right, especially those road and street courses. Like, what are they going to do?
Well, in the short ovals.
Yeah, everything is temporary. Like, yeah, or they've got a set amount of pit boxes. Like, will we have bumping at other races? Like, what the fuck? Yeah. How does that happen?
Right. I mean, I think that every course that we have can accommodate 24 cars.
I think 24 is fine. I've seen somehow I wrote.
If we got it closer to 30, there's definitely some
like,
that it would.
About 27 things can get sketched on a few.
Yeah.
That might just be me thinking of a number though.
Yeah, no, that makes sense though.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Well, next up, we have a listener question from Chad.
Chad, who's part of the Flamingo Mobile.
He also was the winner of our track selfie contest, one of the winners of our track selfie contest.
That's right.
And he got a free ticket to Carb Day, which, speaking of contest, and then we'll get to Chad's question.
Yes.
Speaking of contest, we are having a contest this Thanksgiving, and the winner gets a free Fast Cars, Fast Girls t-shirt.
Maybe something else.
But at bare minimum, a t-shirt. And so what it is we want to see pictures of your turkeys with the face of Ryan Hunter Ray on them. Whether I'm going to print out a picture and just put on like a popsicle stick and stick it on there, or if you want to, use Photoshop to put it on there. I mean, however you want to affix his face onto the turkey, you knock yourself out. But hashtag turkey RHR. So, because there are better ones, but they're just too long. So hashtag turkey RHR.
And please also tag us, because I'm not going to search the hashtag.
Yeah, you have to tag us in it. But yep. And so we will give you the whole weekend of Thanksgiving, because not everybody does things on Thursday. So you will have until Sunday evening after Thanksgiving.
Which means we'll look Monday morning.
Yep, and then we will pick our winners. So
let's be real about that.
Right? And you can post those pictures on any of our social media, which you can find everything from our website, www.fastcarsfastgirls.com. We have a Facebook, facebook.com/fastcarsfastgirls, or simply search Fast Cars Fast Girls in your Facebook search bar. And you can post it there. You can post it on our page there. You can also post it on our Instagram. You post it to your Instagram, but tag us in it.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, we are at Fast Cars Fast Girls. And then you can post it to Twitter as well. And our Twitter is at FastCarsN317. So any of those options would be good.
Don't use the Snapchat. I don't think we'll get on the Snapchat.
No, don't use the Snapchat. No,
we won't see it. Sometimes people send us snaps and we don't see them for
months.
Weeks.
Yeah, depending on when it is. Yeah.
If it's out of the season, the next time we'll have it is probably when we go.
Right.
For Liquor and Lights.
Or Daytona. The Rolex 24.
Yeah,
oh, no, but after that, yeah. So it'd be Liquor and Lights and then the Rolex. Because I remember last year when I pulled out for the Rolex, I had a message back from somebody that was over a month old.
We're like, oops. Don't contact us via that way. But you can also contact us from our website, which I think you gave the address for, but I'll give it again, www.fastcarsfastgirls.com. You can subscribe from our website.
And if you're not subscribed, you should be, because then you don't even have to think about listening to us. When the episode drops, you get a quick notification on your phone. And you can say yes, you can just click, I'd like to listen to it now, or you just hide it and listen to it later. But that way you know it's there. We're there for you anytime.
I mean, we're there typically Wednesday mornings, but if you want to listen to us on other days, that's fine.
Totally fine.
I mean...
But yeah, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you review us, please. We appreciate that. So nice. Rate and review. And share us with your friends and family.
Think of us as a holiday gift.
Yes.
For that one person you can't buy for, be like, you know what?
You have everything, but do you have hilarity and informativeness? Back to our listener question, Chad.
Chad's question.
And if you ever want to be featured, just ask us a question.
Yeah.
We love hearing from you. So again, follow us on social media, like, rate, review, all that business. Mm-hmm. And yeah, enjoy the fun. So we're going to throw this, let's see, what part of this? So this is a 4-parter.
It's a 4-parter, but I appreciate it because it didn't waste a lot of my time, but I did spend a lot of time on the internet.
You went down the rabbit hole.
I did. At times, there was like YouTube was involved, Reddit was involved, like a whole dick.
Oh, it's always dangerous when Reddit is involved.
I know. I didn't stay on Reddit too long.
Yeah, it's just, it can be a little dangerous.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 1. What do the budgets of a race team look like, i.e. cars, personnel, travel, etc.? Okay. Do we want to ask and answer?
Yeah, we can ask and answer because I actually broke it down, asked and answered.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, and we'll be posting all of this online, including our sources, because there's a very excellent article by Kirk Cavan when he was writing for the IndyStar. Hashtag, please stand with the IndyStar.
Yep.
And it broke down, nice.
This is a can of wine. I just want everybody to know that.
Yeah,
I just cracked a can of Pinot Grigio.
We're winding it up because it's fall/winter. It's wine time. It's wine time. Yeah. So Kirk Cavan wrote a very great article about a budget for the month of May. So we're going to put a lot more of these numbers on the episode notes. I'm not going to run down every single number.
No.
Because there's a lot. So in 2013, he indicated that Buddy Lazier bought a car for $300,000. Yes, $300,000.
The car was a few years old.
It was a few years old. So your car and equipment will...
And this is not for the whole season. This is just month of May.
Just month of May, yeah. Yep. So for the month of May, your whole budget for your car and your equipment will be $578,300. Already, that's more than I owe in my student loan, which is amazing for me to say that.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, your entry fee, $12,000.
$12,000.
I actually double checked that because I was like, that can't be right.
Oh, yeah.
But it's right. Plus, by the way, you also have to pay for testing, which is another $12.5. So testing and your entrance fee is $24,500. Already, you are at $602,800.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna know that I actually have a hard time saying numbers. This is gonna be real fun. So that's just the car and the equipment and testing, and that involves your electronics package, fuel, tires, the engine.
I mean, the wheel gun; those are $4,000 a piece.
Yeah, those things are so expensive, and you have to have 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Five.
In case one breaks.
In case 4 break, apparently.
Well, no, the wheel gun.
Yeah, but you just only one guy going around with them.
I thought they used more than one at once.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think they do.
It's 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's already...
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. But yeah, we haven't even gotten into personnel and how much you're paying your crew.
Yeah, which is a huge... a lot of people.
Yeah, because you got the engineer, the chief mechanic, the data specialist, the gearbox and tire specialist. 4 mechanics in addition to the chief mechanic. The helpers, a.k.a. roadies.
Yeah.
And the pit crew, which is 5 members.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, you also have to pay the driver.
You got to pay the driver. They don't like to risk their lives for free.
No.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Well, and then the incidentals, so fire suits for everybody that goes over the wall. And those things are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I had that figure last year at some point.
So in NASCAR, a NASCAR number, because I'll put something up kind of also showing NASCAR and sports car, but we won't go all the way into it. NASCAR, $40,000 for fire suits. And that might be a yearly total.
Yeah.
But you also have to clean them.
Yeah, and I do know for a fact that it costs around $450 to get each cleaned.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Per suit to get it cleaned.
That's counting your driver not pissing himself.
Yeah, that's just regular wear and tear.
You know who we're talking about. We know all.
Yep.
Yep.
We, of course, are speaking of our favorite Canadian bird, MP Pants Power.
2 of you. We know 2 of you.
I'm still sitting in my dirty pee pants right now.
Yeah, so there's fire suits. Plus, everybody else who isn't going over the wall has to wear branded clothes because you just can't show up in a sweatshirt and jeans and be like, "Hey guys, I'm here for the IndyCar mechanics."
Yeah, nope. You gotta.
Nope.
There's a uniform that you're gonna have to wear.
Yeah.
So yeah, not to mention all the other incidentals like lodging.
Yeah.
The clothes that they're going to wear when they're not in the fire suits.
And lodging, Indy, the article indicated Indy's probably the cheaper side of lodging.
Oh, absolutely.
Because a lot of teams are based here, but okay, lodging is cheap in Indy, but then you got to think every other race, you got to pay people to get to the race.
Yeah.
And
so,
the close race is fine, everybody can drive, but you're going to have to pay flying for some people. Or all peoples.
And car rentals and
then
all of that.
The damn transporters to carry the cars. We forgot to mention up front, the hardest thing about IndyCar Series is most of these numbers are unpublished.
Yes.
The only reason we have these numbers and numbers from other series is because real journalists sometimes are given access to some, but not all. And so it's a lot of okay, this person had this number. Okay, I've seen this number. A lot of it is guessing and estimations.
We Frankensteined a lot of these figures together.
Yeah, a lot of Frankensteining.
But yeah, and then food.
Food. I mean, you don't have to feed your team. Some places you might not get food for your team, but May, you have a lot of sponsors show up.
Yeah.
So you got to take care of them.
And you got to wine and dine them, and yeah.
You also got to get a suite for them. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. And then if you crash.
God in heaven.
God in heaven. Yeah, you're looking at $200,000.
Yeah. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the extent of the damage and all that business, but...
Yeah, if you mess up a tub or a gearbox, whoo, buddy.
Ooh.
Ooh. I also think this next number is wrong. I think it's supposed to be 9... No, I think it's supposed to be... It's either 90 or 900.
I think 90
I
because...
think so. I think I copied and pasted it.
Yeah, I think... No, it's 90 because... Yeah, if a car is several $100,000...
Oh, yeah, that's right. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, then the Aero Kit wouldn't be more than that.
So we know in 2018 the new Aero Kit cost $90,000 per car.
Yep.
If you are an Indiana-based team, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation did help offset that price. I got real angry for a little bit because $90,000 is more than what I make. And I was like, did they pay for all of it? And they did not. So it was like a whole thing. It was a partnership. So I was like, all right, fine.
Fine.
But
state of Indiana, if you just want to throw some money around, like, a bitch has got bills.
I will take some. Indiana Economic Development Corporation.
Right.
I'm out at these races.
Economically develop my bank account, okay?
Nobody likes Indiana more than me, so I feel like I am the Indiana.
That is true.
I mean, I got a lot of Indiana clothes.
You have more things with the state flag on it than I have ever seen in my life.
I really enjoy our flag and like the whole
I enjoy our flag.
Like history behind it. It's really fun. Anyway.
I enjoy the flag of Indianapolis as well. They're both quality flags.
They're both quality flags. So.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, all that.
So that's kind of what a race team's budget looks like.
Yeah.
So the second question is, how does a race team make money? Sponsorship. Yes. For the most part.
Sponsorship is the name of the game. And then also winnings, but that is like really not as big a part.
No. It's not, and there's like the weird winner circle, which nobody quite knows how it works, and IndyCar never really talked about it. It's in the rules, so see if I can remember this. Full-time team, so you've got a team of, we'll use Andretti Autosport. They've got 4 drivers. Mm-hmm. They have 4 full-time team entrants. There is some calculation that happens, and I don't know it. Nobody knows it, except for IndyCar, except for Mark Miles, probably. Yeah. That each team with a full-time entrance gets money because they have full-time entrants.
Because, it's like you get a bonus for participating in all the races.
Yeah, and so that's a way, and it's not an insignificant amount, but it like fluctuates from year to year.
But it's usually around a couple $100,000, I feel like. Per entry.
Per entry. So
like, I mean, it wasn't like, millions of dollars or some astronomical number, but it also was more than, like, here's $5,000. But yeah, I feel like it fluctuates like between like 2 and 5, 100,000, depending.
It's just a whole thing.
And again, there were no specific numbers that were published
because IndyCar actually refused to tell anybody about it.
Yeah,
like people like we asked and they said no, and I was like,
yes, that's true.
It's one of the things working in the public sector. When somebody actually asks us, we have to tell them.
Right? Yeah. I'm like, I don't have that option.
No, I don't. Here is everything. So,
well, actually, sometimes I do, because I say, actually, your doctor is the only one that's allowed to release test results to you.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Actually.
Wash my hands of
I don't have to say shit. Also, they also make money off of paid drivers. We always figured out with the drivers who bring money to the table.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
It's very interesting.
Yeah. It's
an interesting setup.
It is.
It is.
I would like to, see this system change for the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see. How much does a sponsor really have to pay to be on a car?
So there is actually some of these numbers are hidden, but there's been a few things. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So 2015, Steak and Shake.
Which, by the way, Steak and Shake is an Indiana-based company.
Yes.
Fun fact.
They paid $1 million to be the primary sponsor for Graham Rahal's car for 5 races. This did include the 500, so I'm sure that is. Whew,
yeah, sponsorship for the 500 is definitely going to cost you more than sponsorship in any other race.
Yeah.
In fact, I would bet that $1 million. I would bet at least 300,000 of that. Probably 300,000 of that was for the 500. Because you just divide it equally, then it's 200,000 a piece. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like, maybe $150 for 4 of them, that takes you to 6, and then 400 for the 500.
I'm wondering if I wrote this number down wrong again when I looked down at the 2014 numbers. I probably did.
Maybe you meant 10 million.
I might have. I will check my sources and I will have it correct on the episode.
Because that makes more sense.
Yeah, because there was a Bloomberg article, and this was actually on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what is this? Yeah, so in 2014, Bloomberg, this is for a full season, so maybe not then.
Yeah.
I will still double check that Steak and Shake number.
Yeah.
for a logo on the side of the car, like Verizon or Hum or, well, I feel like Menards is a full thing.
Yeah.
So is Arrow. All right. I think most of the logos on the side also tend to be the primary car sponsor.
They do, but Napa's on the side of...
Yeah, but it's the whole paint color scheme too.
Yeah.
See, so I think the side sponsor is kind of the main sponsor.
Typically,
yeah. That's $5 to $9 million for a full season.
Wow.
Yeah. The front wing is $1 to $2 million.
I will get something tattooed on me for that kind of money. Okay, I will wear your brand forever.
I think somebody did that on the internet once. I remember seeing stories about this. Maybe not that amount of money though. But for that amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Done.
I'll get a fucking neck tattoo for that amount of money.
So $1 to $2 million for the front wing, and then for a helmet decal, it's $100,000 to $300,000. Now this is all for full season, so it may actually be $1 million for the 5 races.
Yeah.
What's even more interesting to me is that there are companies out there who can sit in a computer program, watches races, and will calculate the screen time you have as a sponsor, and run it through magical number machines.
Yeah. And
give you your ROI. And I think IndyCar actually has a very good ROI for sponsors.
Oh, I believe that.
That's interesting to me.
It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. I would just love, I love the idea of all the algorithms and things that they use to get that.
I know.
Yeah. I would be very interested to see like how that number comes to be, because
I know.
I love numbers and math and all that.
I want to see like how they do it. Like what does the program run? I'm already geeking out over it.
Yeah.
It's a big deal for me.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's a rumor because IndyCar still does not have a title sponsor.
Nope. Yeah, that's part of the silly season. Are neither us nor the Road to Indy.
Nor the Road to Indy, exactly. But it's a rumor that IndyCar is asking $30 million for the new title sponsor.
I can't put that into real monies.
No, like that's like monopoly money to me.
Yeah. We're asking $30 million.
Okay.
Like, what does that look like?
Right.
Like, because usually when I was first growing up and learning maths, as far as like the checkbook and everything else, I always equated everything to like my car insurance payment, because that's something you have to have in Indiana.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, if I get this is this many car insurance payments. Like, is it worth it? I can't think of that with this.
No.
This is more than my mortgage.
How many law degrees would that be?
That's actually a lot of law degrees. Sponsors could pay off my law degree debt. I will happily have my law degree sponsored by Pennzoil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Law degree sponsored by Pennzoil.
Or Sabre Hummus.
They did sponsor me, though.
I mean, they should. We bring them to every race.
Oh my God. Between them and Amazon Prime and
guacamole,
boxed wine.
Actually, I'll just get an avocado tattoo.
A Haas avocado.
Franzia, yeah. Franzia, you can sponsor my life. You already do, kind of.
Although I am drinking Sutter Home because they made the cheaper wine. But
yeah.
The cheaper oneers, although it's actually 3 glasses.
Nice. I mean, that's a quality size, though. Like,
it's a good size. I'm here for it.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. So, but yeah, very interesting.
All right, here's the good question. They are all great questions.
They are.
And we're gonna.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say this is the one we're gonna throw up on our
Facebook.
I don't like to use the word throw up. I'm sorry.
We're gonna toss it out on our Facebook.
Throw up makes it sound like we're just gonna.
Or throw it up. I don't know.
Throw it up. There you go. We're just gonna post it.
See, working in nursing, I'm like, I never say throw up for puke, so it never crosses my mind that it sounds like that.
So, what was it? When we were growing up, we couldn't say the word puke. Because my mom would say, cats puke, people throw up.
That's funny.
This is another hint into my upbringing. Things are just clicking in people's minds because of this episode and last episode about this.
That's like, hilarious. Now, see, when Beth went to beauty school, there were certain things that they said, like, you tweeze your eyebrows, you pluck a chicken. And
I'm here for that, though.
Trees have roots. You have new growth.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. So, yeah, your mom, like, cats puke.
Cats puke, people throw up.
So, yeah. But yeah, you tweeze your eyebrows, you pluck a chicken.
You pluck a chicken. Oh my God.
Okay, so anyhow, so we're gonna toss this up on our Facebook this week. But the fourth and final question from Chad.
Is it better to be a shitty driver and bring funds, or an amazing driver and bring nothing to the table?
Well, I guess that depends on whose point of view, honestly. For me, I mean, again, grew up in Indiana. You know, the movie Hoosiers, the movie Rudy. We're all about the underdog. So the guy who's got a shit ton of heart and talent and, you know, doesn't have the sponsorship is really right up our alley as far as, you know, that's the underdog that I want to support. Like, I want to see somebody with, you know, the heart and the talent and all of that business. But at the same time, it's not realistic, because what fucking car are they going to show all that talent and passion off in if they don't have a ride?
It's kind of like everybody talks about reality versus Instagram life. You know, I think the reality is that you'll have your less talented drivers who bring more money get the rides. I'm not going to name names, but I think at this moment we're all thinking of at least 2 drivers who have rides who aren't as talented as people who aren't able to raise the funds. So the more money driver is the reality. The amazing driver in a car, that's the Instagram. That's what everybody wants. And unfortunately, I think we've had multiple discussions with multiple people about this issue. That's really the problem with the series.
That is the problem with the series, and there's not really a good solution for it at this moment in time. Again, we need to kind of revamp some things and redo how things are done to have a meaningful and lasting solution to that. But I think if I was a driver, I'd rather know that I wasn't a shitty driver. But at the same time,
a ride's a ride.
A ride's a ride.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
I think that if you are a driver who is less talented, but you happen to have sponsorship money, I don't feel like you should be, you know, penalized for that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you figure out how to make a great relationship with, you know, these sponsors, and they continue to sponsor you. Should you feel guilty about having your ride? No, you absolutely shouldn't, because you're working hard on and off the track, and everybody has to do that. So no, I don't think that those drivers should feel, you know.
I think the biggest issue is, and we talked about this just earlier, is that teams require drivers to bring sponsorships. Teams actually don't do the crux of the sponsorship chasing. It's the drivers, and
that is what should change.
That is 100%
are who should be in charge of the sponsorship. The sponsorship should stay with the team.
Yeah.
Rather than fixing yourself to. I mean, I get that it's worked out really well for some drivers, but what ends up happening is that you have drivers who end up staying longer than natural selection would have weeded them out had they not brought personal sponsorship. If the sponsorship came with the team, then it all falls upon your general manager, who's going to say, nope, the results weren't up to snuff this year.
I mean, 100% on team would be great. I can understand more of a 50-50 split, because at some point, the driver might need to have some buy-in in it. But but it feels so much right now that it's all on that driver, especially in your smaller teams.
It is, and it's hard.
It's hard.
And again, to go back to, you know, the Drivers Association / union and things.
The union, non-union?
The union, non-union. The non-union union. That was hard to say. But, you know, when you look at that, it's like everybody's negotiating their deals individually and all of this business and the way that things are done. You know, if there were some sort of association or organization for the drivers to belong to, then they could have that collective bargaining power of saying, hey, we're not going to be treated like, you know, pieces of meat where you're like, how much are you worth to me? Where we all just have a price tag on our forehead. You're going to look at us like human beings and drivers and our skill sets, and it's going to be more than just the money.
Yeah.
So I think that that's, again, something that should change, that would change our series for the better.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Because it's also hard when you're by yourself, you know, going out as a one-off. You know, Connor Daly busts his ass trying to get sponsorship, going around, making meetings, flying all over the place, driving places, meeting people, all that business. If you had an organization, you know, a driver's organization, union, association, whatever you want to call it, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Okay. You know, then you could go as a group and say, hey, you could go as your team, hey,
hey, this team,
we want to rally for you to sponsor our team. We're the two main drivers, but we want to tell you why you should partner with, Chip Ganassi and blah, blah, blah. We want to tell you. And so
it's much better that way.
It is. And actually,
it's a better pitch.
It's a better pitch.
Yeah.
And if you have the drivers and the team owners, members, whatever higher up people go, then it shows that commitment on all these levels, as opposed to just one person who's going in by themselves. It just doesn't have the same gravitas.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that'd be a very interesting, very good change. But, that's going to take a lot of change. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of resistance to that. A lot.
People are always resistant to change, which is hilarious because it's inevitable.
I know.
It's death, taxes, and change are the three things you can absolutely fucking guarantee are going to happen.
100% on that one.
So...
it's an interesting question. Thank you very much, Chad.
Yeah. Very, very good question. So I know we both look forward to hearing everybody else's thoughts on this.
Definitely. So we can't wait for our Facebook group to tackle this question.
On to our Woman of the Week, Miss Molly Taylor.
Who has an amazing name.
She does. And she is an Australian rally driver.
So she was born into a rally driving family. Her father, Mark, is a rally driver, and her mom, Carol, is a 4-time Australian rally champion co-driver.
No shit.
And fun fact, her mom has a Wikipedia page. Her dad does not, or I couldn't find it. Which I think he doesn't, because he would have been linked to her. So
yeah.
So mom's got a Wikipedia page.
Well, she's the 4-time champion, so...
he's won shit, but
not as much.
But she the badass.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. So, looking at her racing history... in 2006, she was the New South Wales Young Achiever, and she won the New South Wales Rally Championship, which I realize New South Wales is a kind of territory of Australia.
It is.
Not South Wales, England.
Correct.
I was like, no, should give it away. 2007 and 2008, 27 and 28. Okay, Helliker. She won the F16 class in the Australian Rally Championship, but that's kind of like your lowest class. It's a two-wheel drive.
Yeah,
so it's like that entrance thing. Yeah. All right.
2008, she competed in the Suzuki Swift World Cup in Britain. She won 3 out of 6 races, batting 500.
Yeah.
Becoming the British Ladies Rally Champion.
Another great accolade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2009, 2010, she was selected for the Australian Motorsport Foundation International Rising Star Program. Very cool.
Right? Oh, no, she's just made of amazing.
She's just badassery.
Just from start to current.
Front to back.
All bad ass.
Soup to nuts, badassery.
There you go, soup to nuts.
Just sounds dirty. All right, in 2011, she competed in the World Rally Championship.
2013, she competed in the FIA European Championship, and she was the ladies' champion of that
Excellent
year.
Well done.
Then in 2015,
lots of shit went down.
Popped off.
So she was the first woman to win a heat in the Australian Rally. The first woman to win the National Capital Rally in Canberra.
Sounds good.
She podiumed every round.
Every round,
and she finished second overall.
Yeah, and then she came back next year and said, I'm gonna just win it.
I'm just gonna win the whole thing.
I'm gonna just win it.
You know what? I won a heat last year. I'm just gonna win it this year. And she did. She won the Australian Rally Championship,
which is amazing. She was actually the first woman to win the championship and the youngest person to win it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
To be the first of anything, or the the superlative of anything, the youngest, the blah, but the youngest and the first female, and in the same year.
She was just like, I'm gonna let you finish,
but which I realized logically that has to be the same, the youngest and the first female, because she couldn't be the first female. She's gonna get older. I know how it sounded when I said it.
Well, no, she's the first female.
But she's also the youngest.
And the youngest person.
Yes.
Yeah.
First driver from outside of the UK to win the British Ladies Rally Champion.
Yeah. So, 2 quotes.
Love the quotes. They're always my favorite.
Do you want 1 or 2? I'll do 2. You can do 1.
Okay. It makes it more unpredictable when everyone's pushing that hard and trying that hard to beat each other. So I think it'll bring out the best in everyone. Discussing a tight rally championship.
I accidentally brushed the mic with my pen. All right, so this I felt kind of harkened back to our discussion earlier. You have to be talented, obviously, but it's not the kind of sport where, say, the fastest runner will win every race, whether they've got nice clothes or not. In motorsport, you have to have the talent, but also you have to have the money.
You absolutely do, because you have to have the money to have the equipment.
So when I found that quote after doing like
Yeah.
many a rabbit hole, I was like, I will put this quote here and I will read it later.
Her Twitter, @MollyRally.
I think that's her on like every social media too.
I love it.
I do too.
@MollyRally.
I love it.
So yeah, make sure you check her out. Molly Taylor.
Yeah. Kind of really cool.
Yeah, super cool, man.
Yeah.
Super cool. Well, it's time for
Shit
we didn't make up.
And this one goes out to Doug Thornton.
@Doug YouTube.
This is for you, Doug. Because you even mentioned it and then threw it away. Because Doug really wants there to be an IMSA race at the Indianapolis Motors.
The Brickyard Grand Prix.
Yes, they were actually support races to the Brickyard 400, which I like double and triple checked this because it just was weird to me.
Yeah.
But they are support races from 2012 to 2014 for the Brickyard 400. They were held on Friday. They were remember they had like the Kroger Super Weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were part of the Kroger Super Weekend.
The Super Weekend.
Oh, God.
I remember those days.
Yeah, we all do. So the first one, the Brickyard Grand Prix, it's a 3-hour sports. It was. It's no longer held. A 3-hour sports car race. They used the Grand Prix circuit, so the interior circuit. It was from 2012 to 2013, part of the Grand Am Rolex Sports Car Series. By the way, the inaugural race was won by none other than Sebastian Bourdais.
Well done.
Of course.
Seabass.
And then in 2014, it was the Tudor United Sports Car Championship. Actually, Jack Hawksworth that year in 2014 won the Prototype Challenge class.
Yeah. Oh, there's another name we could throw out for a good one-off for the 500, by the way.
He's just not...
He hasn't done shit in a while.
He hasn't done shit in a while. It'd kind of be like Townsend Bell jumping back in.
I would love for Townsend Bell to jump back in.
I mean, his name gets thrown around every time somebody's like, I mean, Townsend could do it. And we're all like, I mean, he could.
He could. And I feel like he's always ready.
He's always... I feel like he just sleeps in the race suit. Like, you never know.
Like, he has... Under his clothes, under his suit is his fire suit.
Just in case.
Just in case. He'll be... He's like Superman.
Somebody's like, oh, God.
Find the man phone booth.
And then Townsend Bell just rips everything. It's just
it's a tearaway. Yeah, it's a tearaway suit.
You heard it here first. Townsend Bell wears tearaway suits. Ooh, my.
Townsend Bell wears tearaway suits. No, he can't. He's too hot for that.
You get attacked on pit lane.
Yeah, I would attack him on pit lane. And the second greatest protective order in racing. Yep.
Well, that's because Ed Carpenter's it expired.
It did.
It did expire.
It did expire. Well,
He realized it too late.
That's what you get for not renewing. Because now
Sorry
you gotta
about
start fresh.
Yep.
It's a lot easier to get it renewed than it is to start fresh.
Oh, God.
All right. They let's see. They also had the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge.
Yes.
That was a 2.5-hour race, and that was a support race to the Brickyard Grand Prix.
This all happened on like Friday. They had maybe like an hour of practice Thursday, and then quals Thursday, and the race Friday.
And it was like, but let's go.
Let's go. We gotta go. We got NASCAR coming.
We do.
So
some of the familiar names to us who have raced. We've got what?
The third name on the list.
Oh well, yeah. So Sebastian Bourdais, Jack Hawksworth, Townsend Bell, aka Breakaway Suit, James Davison, Scott Sharp.
Yeah. That's a throwback name.
It is.
Yeah.
Which I'll tell you what's funny is that I work with a physician whose name is Scott Sharp.
Oh my God.
And it is so hard for me to like
not say something.
Yeah. Christian Fittipaldi, Bruno Junqueira, and Sage Karam.
Yeah. I saw on one report Tony Kanaan, but I couldn't substantiate it.
Gotcha.
So you know how I feel about it.
Couldn't find a second source, so
right.
it's possible,
like,
but yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very interesting. I mean, I'm always about, like, if you can pack a weekend full of as much racing as possible, like, do it. I loved how they had the BC not necessarily be a support, but, you know, but be a lead up.
Kind of like the opening, it was an amuse-bouche.
Yeah.
Or actually, it was more like the first course, really.
Yeah. So
yeah, BC, then Xfinity, then Cup. Yeah, it was really done well. I appreciate that.
I enjoyed that. I love packing a weekend full of as much racing as you can. So
Yeah.
I'm into it. Which I think we would be remiss if we didn't at least touch on it before we get to our white flag. But the Paul Tracy drama.
Yeah, I don't know how to handle that for us.
I mean, I don't think it's a secret that I don't care for Paul Tracy.
I don't think anybody's surprised to know that we actually do not care for Paul Tracy.
No. I don't think his announcing is that great. No. And you can at me on that if you want.
Yeah.
As far as what I think of him personally, I mean, if you don't agree, we can agree to disagree. I'm not going to debate how I feel about him. But I think that is he a journalist? No. But is he employed in a journalistic manner? Yes. So he should conduct himself accordingly. I would have fired him for releasing the information about Wickens ahead of time.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't even pause to do that.
No. And for me, like, that's a hot spot because I'm a nurse 100%. And HIPAA's a big fucking deal. And if you don't have the right to give somebody's information, Robert Wickens could actually sue him in civil court. Mm-hmm. Like, that's how over the line he was, is that Robert Wickens could sue him and win in a civil court of law. Yes. So before anybody gets like, oh, well, he just said this and this and this. No, he did not have the right to, and he would lose in a court. Mm-hmm. He would 100% lose.
Oh, 100% he would lose.
Like, no,
done. Don't even, because that's what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah,
like,
that's what we do.
Stop it.
And so that, I mean, there's no excuse for that.
No.
It's classless, and you were just capitalizing on somebody else's tragedy,
which is a whole other level.
Yeah, that's a whole different can of worms that I find just repulsive from anybody who does that, and that's not a Paul Tracy thing.
Yeah,
that's just anybody who capitalizes on somebody else's tragedy for their own gain is it's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a difference between being a bad boy and then like purposefully stepping over the line because you think you're untouchable.
Yes, I would agree. And I think he has crossed that line a few times.
More than a few times.
Trying to say that he was being funny or pithy, and it's just offensive to multiple people. And we're at a place where we are growing, but we still don't have more viewers on a weekly basis than NASCAR does. Mm-hmm. And so what we don't need to be doing is making anybody feel unwelcome or like they are, thought less of. I don't care who you are. I don't care what, who you are, who you love, what you want to do behind closed doors with other consenting adults. It makes zero difference to me. I don't care what you do for a living. I don't care what color you are. None of that. If you enjoy racing, I want to hang out with you and chat about racing. Let's party.
Like, we don't have to agree about fucking anything else.
We don't have to talk about
We don't have to talk about anything else. That's the beauty of it.
That's why I love going to racetracks. I don't have to talk about shit.
No.
Like, I handle politics and everything else in my daily life. Like, I can go to a racetrack and be like, nobody's going to ask me about a policy or this. Yep. Like, let's go.
And that's part of why I love that we really try. We don't get political on this podcast because it's not necessary.
No.
This is not a political podcast. This is a racing podcast.
The most political thing you're going to hear from us is you should go out and vote. That's it.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell you which way you should vote. I'm just going to say, educate yourself about the issues and
go vote.
It's your civil duty.
Yeah. So
it's a privilege that you have. So, but yeah, so, yeah, I'm over hearing about Paul Tracy. I'm over talking about Paul Tracy. Like, let's be done. But yeah, the Wickens thing, I'd have fucking fired him right then and there.
Done.
The rest of this,
apparently my
hi, Grandma. Agreement. I know. It's almost getting to like Bobby Knight.
Yeah.
Like where the thing that he finally got fired for wasn't really that bad.
It was just the lead up to everything.
It was the build up, and finally it was like, okay, we have.
You do know that that's a touchy subject for me.
I know, and I'm not saying I
agree with the simile.
Yeah, is that it's like I felt that it was.
It's the lead.
It was hysterically ironic that's what he got fired for.
Right.
Yeah, and not like the throwing of the chair or the
14 other things, bringing the gun,
the shotgun. I was gonna say the shotgun in the locker room. Yeah, was it loaded? We sure acted like it was.
God, hearing those stories. But anyway, yeah. So apparently, I guess I have to use the word allegedly.
Yeah. So allegedly,
there was a
comment thread. No, there was a comment thread on a mutual friend of Tracy's and Chris Cunningham.
Yes.
And it was. So it was on the third person that connects the two of them because Tracy and Chris Cunningham are not actually friends on Facebook.
Right.
They know each other, but whatever. And so some comment was made about.
I think it was about the migrant train.
Yes, and about like keeping kids in cages away from their parents, whatever, blah blah.
Right.
And so then the Paul Tracy account, whether it was his real account or a spoof account or whatever, has quote unquote not been verified. So, but anyhow, and then he said back, he said, I'm going to invite all the immigrants to your house to rape you and then your wife.
Yeah.
Which,
maybe we don't make rape threats.
I mean,
first of all, don't make rape threats.
No.
Second of all,
A, don't make threats. B, don't make rape threats. Or if you thought it was a joke, not funny.
No, and C, don't do it in a forum where somebody can take that, screenshot it, and now have lasting evidence. Because you can delete it all you want.
But it's there.
But things in the internet never die.
They never die. And I actually went down a rabbit hole on Reddit last night.
It's always dangerous.
It was, but about this whole incident. And I had already agreed that I had promised myself that I wasn't going to comment before I got on.
Yes, you have to make that agreement with yourself.
I had to commit to
as
it.
Well.
Yeah, because I was like, no, I can't.
I went
can't
on
do
Facebook.
This.
I get it. I had to make the same thing.
Oh, I did some on there as well, and I was like, no. See, Reddit's better because there's not a picture on there, so I feel a little freer. But I was like, no, I'm still not. But a lot of people said, that he shouldn't be, that he shouldn't lose his job over things he said in private. Here's the thing: they weren't in private, though.
They weren't in private. If you put it down, and it's Facebook.
Facebook is not private. Forum. It is a public forum. I can be fired from my job for things that other people put about me on Facebook.
Yes.
So that is not private. This conversation that we're having in your office right now, we're recording it. We're going to release it. If we were not, this would be private. Otherwise, not private.
It's a public forum. Also, I would like to point this out. I've seen a couple of things where you're like, well, it's the off season. It shouldn't count. He's under contract with.
You know what? It doesn't matter if I'm not at work. Right. I'm still obligated to maintain contract. Your privacy. Just because I've clocked out doesn't mean I can then go and tell everybody who I took care of and what for and what diseases they have and this and that. Okay, just because you're off the clock doesn't mean that you're not still responsible.
And I would bet all of my next paycheck that NBC has an ironclad contract, and there's probably what's called a morality clause in said contract, there is. And he's violated it. NBC is handling it, so we'll see what they do. I think this is a proving ground for NBC. They're taking over everything. They have to. This is the moment where they're going to show us what kind of.
It's
what
true.
It's going to be.
It's true, and it's not the first incident.
Yeah. It's multiple incidents.
And he just had, the whole Wiccans thing was just back in August, and
he's done.
Robert and Carly called Paul Tracy out. They called him the fuck out.
It was so beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I mean, I'm here for that shade.
It was a thing of beauty. It really was. Great. It was just, but yeah. So I don't know. I'm over.
I'm over it.
I'm over Paul Tracy, but.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what NBC does. I think. I don't know.
I mean, if I were in those shoes, I'd been like, you know what, you've caused enough issues.
You're done. Bye.
Like it's. I don't want to.
Because I don't feel like there's. So you want to say the people that he has that are fans. Of those people,
races.
Yes, exactly. That's the thing. When you look at your ROI, are you going to lose fans over firing him? No. Maybe a few, but not enough to even make a dip in your Nielsen points, okay? Are you going to lose fans by keeping him? Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, quite possibly. And you're also going to push potential fans away because of his views and the things that he has said.
And you're creating a story outside of the main narrative. Because now it's not just the races and everything else. It's, oh my God,
what the fuck is Paul Tracy doing?
What's Paul going to do now? Like, people are going to be more interested. That's a side story that you don't need.
Exactly.
It's an unnecessary side story.
And it's something else that I would say when I fired him if I were in charge is that you are working against the mission and the stated purpose here, which is to draw more interest into IndyCar.
Yep.
And you having, all of these quote unquote scandals or things is drawing attention away from IndyCar, which is your job is to promote IndyCar. And you are in fact doing the opposite of that.
Exactly.
So
we'll see.
Incompetent in your job. That's what I would write down.
Causing me heartburn. Yeah. Why'd you get fired? I was causing her heartburn. All right.
She stated it was either that or she was going to have to go back on antidepressants. I don't know.
Actually, it's the state of Indiana. I'm wondering. Well, no, NBC's not located here in Indiana. That sucks for NBC. It's an at-will state here.
Oh, it is. Although, I think they're New York, I think.
Yeah, I don't know New York's employment law. I don't even want to wager a guess on that.
No, I don't know. No,
Yeah.
not important.
No.
But yeah. So I mean, if you disagree with us, that's fine. We can have a discussion about some of that. But me thinking that Paul Tracy is kind of a crap human being,
Yeah, that's
I'm not going to debate that.
No.
But his inappropriateness, whether you think it's appropriate or inappropriate or things like that, we will absolutely entertain a discussion on that.
Civil discussion.
A civil discussion. And again, we've not had to lay out any rules with any discussions we've
Not
had
yet.
on any of our social media. And we love that about you guys. So, but yeah, if you guys want to have a conversation, or if you want to like DM us and have a private conversation about it, we had somebody about a month ago that
DM'd us about Detroit.
DM'd us about Detroit, and
She sent us an email.
she sent us an email from our website, and and had great information that we didn't already have. And so if you want to have a more private conversation, so anyhow, and we appreciated somebody who lived there, and so if you have more insight, different information, and you don't want to do it super publicly, feel free to send us a message on our website, because we do enjoy. I mean, we don't all have to agree on everything.
I think that's kind of what makes.
Yeah, and if there's things that we are getting wrong or whatever,
If
or
you're like,
or
well,
that you're like, actually, here's a different point of view on this,
That's fine.
enlighten us. But yeah, just don't be dicks about it, because we'll call you out for being dicks.
Yep. I mean,
And you catch me at the right time of day,
yeah.
I might redefine the word dick for you. I don't know.
Oh God! So on that note, let's wave the white flag. What do you got?
On that note, you guys are awesome, though.
Yeah, I love you. Don't be dicks.
Don't be dicks. Hey,
It's the holidays.
don't be dicks to one another.
And verily, thus said the Lord. We could never talk about that.
Nope. Thanks be to God. You know what I'm going to leave you with today? Okay, you go ahead. You do your white flag first, and then.
I didn't have fun. That's why I was having you go first. So I could think.
Okay, so here's our white flag for the day.
Okay.
I mean, we're very excited about lots of things. We got PRI coming up. We got Liquor and Lights. We've got hashtag Turkey RHR. So don't forget about that. But I think that the only appropriate way to end this is with the Hail Mary.
Ah, yes. I will allow this. Go for it.
All right. Hail Mary, Holman George, full of grace. The Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among racetracks, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Holy Mary, Mother of the IMS, pray for us race fans, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
Amen.
If the sacrilege offended you,
Well,
I'm not sorry.
this must be your first episode.
Must be your first episode. Maybe it's not for you.
Maybe it's not. Well, and on that note, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Have a great week, guys.